Biden is compromised and owned by the Chinese Communist Party. No, he's not. Joe Biden is owned by big pharmaceutical companies and the healthcare lobby. That's why he's against Medicare for all. He's owned by the fossil fuel lobby. That's why he's not going to ban fracking. It's not China. He's not a communist. Joe Biden is a big corporate Republican. That's who Joe Biden is. He's not a communist. He's in the pocket of communist China. Oh, boy. Yeah. What about Mitt Romney and John Kasich? Keep telling me there's a difference between Republicans and Democrats. Exactly. Joe Biden is putting Republicans in his cabinet. He's not a Chinese communist. He's a corporatist. We have both parties are the same. Chinese. Don't be afraid of China and Russia. Be afraid of the American empire. Be afraid of the CIA. Be afraid of the military-industrial complex. Be afraid of big pharma. Be afraid of private prisons. Be afraid of the big telecom companies. Be afraid of Silicon Valley. We don't need to worry about anyone in another country. I'm not saying China and Russia are, summer camps, but there's plenty of evil right here. Good old-fashioned American evil. Does China outspend the next 10 countries combined on military? No, America does. Does Russia outspend everybody on its intelligence? No, America does. In fact, our intelligence budget is separate from our war budget. Our war budget is monstrosity. It's a monstrosity. It is horrifically big. It keeps getting bigger. It was too big under Obama. It was too big under Bush. That's who you need to be afraid of. All caps about communist China is no. Learn about I think it was Event 201. I always forget the names of this, where they said before 9/11, they said we need a Pearl Harbor type event to justify ramping up all this war and ramping up the surveillance state. And then, oh, weird, 9/11 happens. That's the enemy. The intelligence community is the permanent estate. They don't get voted in and out. They're always there. We couldn't vote. You can't vote out the CIA. Oh, Gina Haspel might get replaced. Great. Oh, great. Another pro-torture psychopath. Maybe this one will be a gay transgender or something. Yay. Oh, a transgender of color that likes torturing people the way Gina Haspel. She was the first woman head of the CIA. She likes torturing people. Yay. That's what Joe Biden will do. That's what he'll do. He'll put a person of color in charge of the CIA and everyone will go, see, there's real change. No, the change means get rid of the CIA. Let me ask you something, person that thinks Joe Biden is bought and paid for by communist China. No, he's not. He's a Republican. He's bought and paid for by billionaires. You know the two candidates that had the most donations by billionaires in the Democratic primary? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. What a wacky coincidence. It wasn't Chinese companies. Who caused the 5 to 6 million foreclosures in the housing crisis 10 years ago? Was it China? Was it Russia? Was it Iran? Was it Venezuela? Was it Edward Snowden? Was it Julian Assange? No. It was the American banks. And Bush let them do it, and Obama let them do it. Who gave a $1.5 trillion tax break to billionaires? Was it the Chinese government secretly did that? No, Trump did it, and the Democrats signed off on it. Who contaminated Flint's water? Was it Putin? No, we did that. Did the president of China go to Flint after the Chinese government poisoned the water and said, oh, I'm going to drink the Flint water. I'm not in for publicity stunts. No, that was Obama. Who shot water protesters in Standing Rock? Was it China? No. It was local cops on Army Corps land, which is federal, and Tiger Swan, a private security firm that was hired to go to Iraq. And what they did was they treated people on their sovereign land. That was sovereign land. The city of Grand Forks, North Dakota, by the way, said, we don't want the pipeline coming near us because if it leaks, it could contaminate our water, and we don't want that. Oh, no problem. But we're going to put it through the Native American land. We can keep taking land from the natives. We've been doing that for hundreds of years. And they said, no, you can't. This is our land. And Obama let that happen. And Trump let that happen. And when the pipeline leaked, and 300,000 gallons spilled into the Dakotas, was that China? Was that Russia? No. You know why both Trump and Biden said they weren't going to ban fracking? Because it's good for business. Did you know that the state of Oklahoma has had like a 200% increase in earthquakes in the last 10 years since they started fracking? Are those Russian fracking companies? Is that an Iranian fracking company? Was that Maduro fracking on Oklahoma soil causing? No. Wake up, folks. The enemy is the American empire. They hate the American people. Did China prevent us from having health care? Does China make sure 30,000 people die every year because they don't have health care in the United States? No. The health insurance companies let that happen. They let 30,000 Americans die every year. They murder them. 85,000 dead children in Yemen. You notice how I can keep going on this? That hysteria that Russia or China are the bad guy, that's to distract you. That's to distract all of us to think that there's some outside enemy that we need to unite against. We, the 99%, need to unite against the real enemy, which is the 1%, the ruling class. See, you know what was on the ballot? You couldn't vote against Goldman Sachs. You couldn't vote against Boeing. You couldn't vote against ExxonMobil. You couldn't vote against Pfizer. You couldn't vote against Anthem Blue Cross. You couldn't vote against the private prisons. There was no choice to vote against them. There were some third-party candidates, but they stood no chance of winning. They had no name recognition, no money behind them. They weren't even on all the ballots because that's both parties deliberately get them off the ballots. If they think a libertarian might take votes away in a red state, they'll get the libertarians off the ballot. If they think Greens will take votes away in a blue state, they'll get them off the ballot. That's your two-party system. Who gave $4.25 trillion in the CARES Act to Wall Street? Did you know that? There was a hidden $4.25 trillion hidden in the CARES Act. Who did that? Who hid that in there? China? Russia? No. The Democrats and the Republicans. And people like AOC. That vote for the CARES Act was a verbal vote and it was recorded. So she could claim she was against it when she wasn't. She was for it. Don't get mad at China. Don't get mad at Russia. That doesn't mean I excuse what China's doing in Hong Kong, and I'm not excusing that, but they're not causing the majority of the problems in this country. The American empire is causing these problems. And the sooner you wake up to that and tell your friends, if you have conservative friends, liberal friends, the minute you get them to wake up, that's when we have a chance at real change. And it's not going to happen in the ballot box, folks. It's going to happen in a general strike. But the ruling class wants us fighting with each other. Their whole goal, you watch the news, I don't care what you watch, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, even the sort of psyop indie media, right? Breitbart, TYT, sort of just opposite ends of the... It's to keep us divided, distracted, and afraid. Afraid of each other. Rather than working together to defeat the true enemy, which is the oligarchs that run the American kleptocracy. I hope you wake up. I hope you wake up. Because if you don't, this bullshit's going to keep happening and it's only going to get worse. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.